Well, good morning, everybody. It's Sunday, June 1st, and so quickie updates on what I am working on. So I've got a few small sideline projects I've been working on just here and there while I'm working on those large-scale projects, which are actually coming along pretty good too. Getting ready to get some stuff in primer today on those. And I think I've got the chassis and the motor modified on the 8th scale Corvette enough for that to all go together. I'll do one more test fit today. Unfortunately, I dropped that motor on the floor, cracked one of the valve covers, and knocked the breathers off it. So I wasn't too happy about that, but you know, glued it back and got a little putty on it right now. Sand that down today, and I got to do some sanding on the hydroplane hull too. So I'll do that later on. But in the meantime, I wanted to show you these small scale builds that are pretty much finished. They both need just a few little things left to do to them, but I've been fiddling with these for the last couple months, just off and on when I have some free time at the office and here at home. So this first one is the Slingster, which is a great little kit. I think this is the downsized version of the old Sizzler Dragster kit, which was, I believe, 1/20th scale, and now brings huge amounts of money. I'd love to have one, but I'm not gonna pay $300, $400, or $500 for a kit. And the other one is the Double Dragster kit from AMT. I think it was Glenn that said this is probably one of the best kits ever made of all time, and I have to agree in the fact that it's got so many great parts, so many extra things that you can use and carry over, and it builds up nice. But I will tell you, you're going to work for it for both of these. They're finicky. The little chassis, of course, are split down the middle, and just getting those together fairly straight is some work, you know. And I've got a jig and stuff I put them in, and they still came up a little cocked. And then my blower slid when I glued it on the Double Dragster, so it's a little cocked. So, you know, at the very end of it all, and one thing I will tell you, you follow the instructions, do what they tell you to do, and I wanted this full-bodied version of this, and a lot of things didn't end up fitting when I started putting the body on and to pull things apart. So, fortunately, I used the B7000 adhesive, which gives you a little bit of leeway. It's rubbery, so you can move things around a little bit more, but a lot of what they tell you to do doesn't actually work on the finished product. So anyway, so this is the Slingster. I chose to go with this coupe body. It does come off of there. I'm not going to take it off right now, but I did it in candy root beer, faded up to candy tangerine, and just did a little bit of a tape off job there. And I kept this just straight out of the box, other than adding plug lines. And fun little kit, finicky little thing, but it was fun. And I love dragsters. I love these old coupe bodies, so this was right up my alley. So it's nice. I was not able to get the driver figure in there at the very end of it all. His feet just wouldn't fit in there, and I didn't want to tear everything else up because this stuff breaks loose so easily. I just didn't want to tear it up, so didn't do it. And this one I really love, this full-bodied version. I did this in House of Colors Candy Blue. And I used the kit decals. The frame I did in Tamiya, actually a rattle can, believe it or not, for me. It's called Real Red, and it is real red. I did that straight over the white styrene, so it really makes it pop. So I like that. It shows a push bar in the instructions for this version, but damned if I could find it in there in the parts. But there's a lot of extra parts, so if I can't find it, I'm going to make one for it. And again, same thing, I just added plug lines. I like the fact that they give you the blue tinted glass as well, which I get on there. Yeah, there. And it fits really good. You know, I didn't glue it. I left it loose so you could take it off. I don't like stuff that rolls, but it rolls. This stuff can have a tendency to just roll off a shelf or off a countertop. But again, I use the kit decals, which, you know, they're pretty good, but they started, you know, kind of getting some white edges on them. I did use the microsol on them, and but they, you know, I didn't clear over them. I put them on after the fact, and they started getting a little white around the edges. You know, I don't understand. You know, it's great that they're reissuing all these kits, but there's so many aftermarket decal guys that produce good quality decals that never ever do that. They don't lift, they don't turn white on the edges. I don't understand why the kit manufacturers can't do the same thing. I mean, why cut corners on the decals when you go to all the trouble to reissue these old kits, and they're great, and then you get to the decals and they're problematic. I mean, they weren't too bad. I've had much worse, but they did start to do that a little. Right now, out in the shop, in the paint, I've got these two kits going on. So this is another favorite. I've done a couple of these, and this Nova wagon, or Chevy 2 wagon, I haven't done this. This is a really nice kit. I really like this. Comes with a lot of great extra parts. The decal sheet is really awesome too. A lot of great decals on here, and these decals definitely seem more on the better side. I mean, the sheets, they seem thicker, everything seems thicker, but really cool decals. But I'm going to use those on another project later, on a truck project that I'm going to be working on. But this is a nice little kit. The body's really crisp. There was not a lot of flash all over everything. So yeah, I'm kind of looking forward to getting that one put together. And it's going to be pulling the drag boat version of this on the trailer, so I painted everything to match. And I'll start putting that together this week. I clear coated all of it this morning, and it came out really good. And I can't figure out how it happened. I got everything cleared. Going back, I'm checking my parts, and I look, and right in the middle of the car hood is one of my dog's hairs. Black dog hair. I don't know if it came off my shirt. Don't know where it came from, but I had got a razor and lifted it out of there, put a couple more coats of clear on, and it filled it in. But it's like, of all things, if I'm glad I noticed it, because if it would have hardened in there, I don't know what I would have done. And when that stuff catalyzes, you can't get anything out of it. So anyway, so that was going on. And another kit that I grabbed in the last couple of weeks, let me move these decals out of the way. I grabbed this big large-scale Dukes of Hazzard. So this is 69 Dodge Charger. This pretty much sits on the same chassis as that 72 Charger that I just finished, which is the Petty Charger. Again, different motor, different tires, same basic chassis and everything. But that one, I'm thinking of doing another one of those 16 scale drag boats. And I just had tires and rims made for that kit, and there's a guy offering a Pro Street rear back half of the chassis for that. It's all tubbed. It's got all the suspension. The rear end everything's done. It's all one nice, component that should graft into that chassis good. So that's where that's headed. So that'll end up being, hopefully, if all works out, a 69 Dodge Charger Pro Street pulling another one of those big 1/6 scale drag boats. The other thing that's actually I've got coming together is the MPC, the AMX kit. Let's see what year that thing is. Let's see. It's a 70 AMX, and I'm doing it Pro Street. I had a hard time with that, with the wheel tubs and stuff. Finally got around to making the rest of the interior components. I needed to hide all the places I chopped it to pieces. Unfortunately, my good friend Jim had made me tires and rims for that. And in the process of working with getting those adapted to the chassis, I actually shattered one of the rims for the rear tires, which are impossible to substitute anything on. So I'm actually going to probably have another set of tires and rims made for that build. And I'm sorry, Jim, if you end up watching this. I hate that, because I know you went to a lot of work, and I appreciate all the effort, but it didn't work out. So so that's pretty much, that can all go together once I get those tires. That whole build has been jinxed, I swear, from the word go. It's like everything I've tried to do on it just didn't work, and it was really frustrating. And I kept putting it on the back burner, and I really like the way it looks. The paint came out good. Everything's done. The motor, the interior, everything's ready to go together. And it's just been one thing after another. I do need to put one more coat of regular clear over it, because I flaked it. So it's going to get another coat of clear sometime in the next few weeks. I'll get that cleared and get the other tires and rims ready to put on there, so I can get that one done as well. But in the meantime, still working on my other large-scale projects. The hydroplane, I need to dive into that and get that rest of the sanding done and get that in primer so I can start paint. It's starting to get hot, and it's starting to get buggy. I painted out there late last night on the Chevy 2 wagon and on that boat, and I got chewed up pretty good by mosquitoes. They're starting. They're not bad yet, but they're starting, and I had one gnawing on my ankle. I usually spray my legs and stuff, and I forgot to do it. I keep the spray right there on the bench, and he got me pretty good. So I was itching quite a bit last night. But anyway, that's what's going on right now. I'll have some updates for you later this week as some of this other stuff starts to go together. That probably little wagon and boat, probably get that together long before I get these large scale builds done. But stay tuned. Hope you guys are all building, and I will see you again real soon. Thanks for coming by.